What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo.
Canadian.
I'm a hockey player. Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
To all you Blues fans, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
Presented by Scott Credit Union. Your St.
BlueNote. Your BlueNote Fan Report. Hey, everybody. How you doing out there today? I know it's been a little bit since I've been here, but I'm kind of sort of back. Saturday, or last week, the Blues played the Arizona Coyotes in 2 games, back-to-back. Same day, did a split squad thing, won one, lost the other. Then on Tuesday, they played Columbus. Now, I did a show on Monday. I did not do a show yesterday or during Tuesday. I did a show Monday, didn't do a show Tuesday. Didn't realize that the Columbus website was putting the game on. If I'd known that, maybe I would have done a show. Now, or tomorrow, the game is on ESPN Network, but they're joining it in progress. However, I have NHL Center Ice, and NHL Center Ice is showing the whole game. So I will come on and do the game. I will not do a full pregame. I mean, if you look at the roster that they're sending up there, yeah, the Bedard's probably going to go off. Woo! Bedardhawks. Oh my God, Bedard. And you know, everybody's going to go, see. You can't hear me. Can anybody else have that problem? Anybody else have the problem of not hearing me? Hello? Can you hear me out there? Well, I guess Ryan's hearing me. Gloria hears me, so I think it's on your end there, E. I think it's on your end. Let me say a big hi to E. Jason, Marilyn, Ryan, and Gloria. Where is Mary today? Come on, Mary. Mary, where are you? We're waiting for you. Yeah, that's what I figure is going to happen. Shaka, shakalicious. How you doing, buddy? That's what I think is going to happen. So they sent 3 guys down to their juniors. No big deal. There are so far 5 guys that are listed as hurt. Kyrou, Falk. Sorry, guys. I'm going to try and get through today. Kyrou, Falk, both have lower body issues. Casper has an upper body issue. They should all be at practice tomorrow. They didn't practice today. Ratcliffe is out and Quentin Burns is out. So really, no one of those matters at the moment. Right? I mean, you don't want to see guys out and hurt, but our injuries have been minor. Thank goodness. Yeah, on your end, you probably got it muted somewhere there, bud. Sorry. But when you look at who they're sending up there, right? First of all, Kyrou, who's not a big deal, isn't going up. So you have, here's the list of the guys going up tomorrow. Nikita Alexandrov, Zachary Bolduc, Pavel Bushneve, Zach Dean, Adam Gaudette, Mitch Hoschler. I don't even know who he is. Probably, I'd have to look him up. Hugh McGing, Mackenzie McCachran, Jake Neighbors, Nick Ritchie, Robert Thomas, and Nathan Walker. Now, it begs the question, who's going to be on the line with Bushnevich and Thomas? I know who I'd like to see on that line. I would like to see either Neighbors or Bolduc or Dean or get time on that line or have those three guys rotate through that line. I would really like to see if one of those guys clicks. On defense, you have Joseph Duzuk, Colton Parayko, Prunovich, Rosen, Skinner, and Tyler Tucker. More than likely, the pairings will be Parayko and Prunovich, Rosen and Tucker, Skinner and Duzuk. Goalies are Hoffer and Cranley. I don't think that there's going to be, I'm not. Oh my goodness. The people that watch this show. Well, at least somebody watches it, and I greatly appreciate you. I know. See, here's the thing, guys. I know I've complained about, nobody not getting a lot of views, and some of you guys have taken that very personally. I'm not aiming it at you. It's not your fault I'm not getting the views. It's not. It's me. I get it. But, I got to do something. And if you go, let's just get into this, right? Why haven't I been on lately? Well, a couple different reasons. I am dealing with, so I have really, really bad teeth. I haven't had great dental hygiene in my life, and it's coming to bite me. I don't have dental insurance really, and it will cost what it will cost to fix my teeth is expensive, and I can't afford it right now. So I'm dealing with a little bit of infection. If you notice that little bump over here, that's from my teeth, right? That's from the possible jaw infection that I have. And sometimes my teeth get really sore, and that's what's happened in the last week or so. My jaw has been really sore. On top of that, last night I had a really bad headache. Part of that comes from what I did the week before. Last Monday, leading into Sunday, I set a challenge for myself. Some of you know about this. Some of you, the ones that have been around or paid attention, know that I'm trying to become a writer, that I really, really want to write. And the problem with that is writing is extremely difficult for me. I have a learning disability that makes writing both physically and emotionally painful. It locks up my hands. It really does do some things to me. It brings out some frailties. It brings out some self-consciousness things. It really does affect me on a lot of different deep levels. But I still want to do it. And that's really, it's really bad. It's the duality of life. To be talented at something, but have something that also makes it difficult for you to do. Something that I love, the duality of life. Now, with that being said, last Monday, I sat down and challenged myself to write 10,000 words in a week. Now, I don't know how many of you have really sat down and written before. If you haven't, when you think about what 10,000 words really is, it may surprise you, right? It may really surprise you at what a 10,000 word essay or short story or composition is. It surprised me what it was. And in the writing of this, I ended up getting extremely personal. And I do mean very, very, very personal. I wrote things that I didn't realize I was going to write. And to just give you an idea, this is what I wrote, and I'll just scan through it. It's basically I'm just scanning through it. It turns out to be 32 pages. Hold on. You don't need to see my editor there. There we go. You know, and it's some personal stuff, and you know, it might be published. Um, I'm looking at the possibility of publishing, and I've sent it to one veterans magazine. Haven't heard anything yet, but this stuff takes time. So emotionally or mentally or psychologically, I'm a little beat up. So in being beat up, I've had to deal with the stuff that's going on in my head. And you know, look, I get it. Some people, you know, I was just thinking this to myself the other day. You know, everybody's got it. You know, mental illness is now rehab of the 80s or the 90s. You know, and I get very self-conscious sometimes talking about mental illness. Maybe I shouldn't, but I do. And it's just, you know, what I deal with a little bit, right? So that's why I haven't been on. And you know, it's not you guys. It's never you guys. I do this as much for you guys as I do it for me. Right? And I'll be honest, I talk about doing this show a little bit in that. And you know, there's 7 people watching. If a couple of you guys said you wanted me to read some of my story, I would. Craig Moss, Gloria Super Marion listener, Lance the Scott, Lance Man, E. Guido, and Jason Nichols. Thank you for putting that love in the air. Greatly appreciate it. One of the things that I brought out in this is just what I go through on a daily basis, trying to do what I do and how I see it. And I even talk about why the Blue Note Fan Report started, why I did it. Right? I get into that, and you know, I do hope that this gets published. I hope that somebody picks it up. It's 32 pages. You know, it's a little over 11,000 words. But you know, you do what you can. I want to start writing more about the Blues. I'm on, you know, I am a writer for Full Press Hockey. I know if I wrote stuff, Craig Moss would share the crap out of it. Probably might get kicked, might get warned about sharing my stuff in groups. I'm going to see if I can write under a pen name, so those big groups don't know who it is. I'm going to talk to Full Press about that. Hopefully they'll let me do that. That would make, you know, make things a little bit easier, get my stuff out. But I don't know. We'll see. But I do want to write more. I do want to get more into at least writing weekly or a couple times a week about what's going on with the Blues. I don't know about writing daily, or about game stuff. The problem with writing about games after the game is that I do this show. So I do a pregame here. I stay on through it. I do the 2 intermissions. Then I do a postgame. Well, in that, that's when everyone else is writing their articles, and they have access to the actual press conferences and things like that. My most imaginative pen name. I don't really have an imaginative one. I think a name that I would use would be my natural father and my stepfather's middle names. Right? I really like my stepfather, and I don't call him my stepfather. I call him my father. That's middle name. I really like it. It's not common. I know he's not a fan of it, but I like it, and I always have. My natural father's middle name is very common. So I would want to revert. I would want to use my stepfather's middle name first and my natural father's middle name last, but it doesn't work. So if I did it, I would have to use um, my natural father's middle name first, and then my stepfather's middle name last. But I really don't have an imaginative pen name, right? Maybe you guys can help me come up with one if I do that. Um, maybe I don't know. I'm rambling here. But wow, 10 people are watching me. It's still the same 6 have put that up. Hey, Wendy, how you doing today, bud? How you doing? I'm not going to invite you on today, Wendy. I'm kind of not in that mood to talk like that. So I do apologize. But tomorrow, you're more than welcome to come on. You're more than welcome to come on. I knew he was going to ask that. I knew it. Yeah, he asked to come on. And today, I just, Wendy, God, Nick, I love you. I love you. I love Lance. I love all of you. But just today, I'm not feeling it, guys. Right? Monday was emotionally hard on me for some reason, and I haven't completely recovered from it. And that's why I ended up stopping the show. I just wasn't there. I wasn't ready for what was going on in my head. What do you guys? I mean, Shaggy asked the question, what is an imaginative pen name that you would think I could use? Right? An imaginative pen name. Oh, I don't know. I'm trying there, Shagalicious. What is a pen name? That is a fake name that an author uses to write with. And I'll think of his name here in a second. The horror writer, Stephen King, wrote under a pen name for a while. One of the things that he wrote, May Onezi. Nah, I don't like that one. Disgruntled Seaman. It's not bad. Mobile torpedoes, I could call that. Old fashioned blues fan, nah, that doesn't work. You want to take fan out of it, because I would like to get press access, and if they think you're a fan, you're out of it. Even though guys that work for them can call themselves fans on commercials and shit, heaven forbid that you call yourself a fan and you're a media member. So, nah, I don't shipwreck St. Louis and Blues No Clues. No, I don't want to go there. The Haunted House by Hugo First. I don't know if that's one of Stephen King's, to be honest. It could be. There's one he did that was written by a movie. Right? I wouldn't want to use the word fan, E. I wouldn't want to use the word fan. Click me, baby, one more time. That's not bad. I got it. Let me. Yeah, but I don't want to use my name in it, because there are so many that if Guy was anywhere in it, they've kicked people out of their groups for sharing my show and sharing my stuff. Right? So see, you guys are thinking the wrong way. When you do a pen name, let me see if I can look this up. I'm going to look up who wrote this, or look up this. I'm looking it up now. I know that this book was written by a very famous author, but his name is not on it. No, that's the. Might be it. No, they have his name on it now, but when he originally wrote it, it didn't have his name. But The Running Man was written by Stephen King. Oh, Richard Bachman. That's who he used. He used the name Richard Bachman. And it is a pen name for him. There we go. I knew I'd find it. Right? So there we go. What do you got there? Me and my friend were talking today and decided to make up a crazy bold prediction for the Blues this season. He said 55 wins. Conn Smythe. Mine was Blues have a surprise good season, making a push for the playoff, and realize at the trade deadline they are missing a key sniper and trade for Tarasenko. We both had a laugh. One of those actually has more validity than the other one. In fact, I really like one of them. Right? I'm sure you know which one I like. I think that one of them does have some validity. Right? Parayko, he'll never win the Conn Smythe. He'll never win the Norris. He's got a very, very powerful shot that he doesn't use enough. If Parayko used his shot the way he should, Parayko would be a Norris candidate. He absolutely would, because he would have a ton of assists, and he would have he would have the points. He would have 70 to 80 points if he used his slap shot the way he was supposed to. If he used that big body and that big stick the way he was supposed to, he would absolutely be a Norris candidate. The part of that I think has some validity is, this team there are zero expectations for this team. I hope you realize that. The expectations are extremely low. And they know this. So maybe they go out there and they play with no abandon. Right? Maybe they do go out there and they surprise some people. Right? They play an offensive style. They get back on the they do a forecheck. They get back on the cycle. They do some of the things that made them successful. I am concerned, though, because they have gone and gotten mainly big bodies that don't work in my eyes. In my eyes. Skill is what's going to win this. Couple of things that came out over the past week that I haven't talked about. One of them is Torrey Krug. I even brought this up. Craig, I think this was in your group. Bud. Someone wrote about Krug that Krug doesn't want to be here. Just trade him away. And I said, I remember replying, that's not true. And I talked about the false narrative and how Blues fans jump on it. Well, Krug came out and said, I signed a 6-year contract in St. Louis. I plan on being here for that 6 years. I want to play here. So the narrative that Krug doesn't want to be here is BS. However, Blues fans love to jump on that narrative. They love that negative narrative. They love the Tarasenko stuff is a prime example of that. That is why, if the Blues were in a playoff spot or challenging for the division, and the Senators were willing to deal Tarasenko, I could see the Blues working a deal for that. No, I think since he came from another team, I think you can only do 6. I'd have to check, but I think you could only do 6. You could be right, E. But I think 6 was all that he could do. And he is here. Oh, man, what is this stuff? Krug is here for 1, 2, 3, 4 more years, and he's been here for 2 already, right? Yeah, 2, or has he been here for 3? He might have been here 3, so maybe it was a 7-year contract. You may be right. It might have been a 7-year contract. No. Yes, he did. You're right. He did sign a 7-year contract. You are correct. He did sign a 7-year contract. Right. Okay. Sorry. My tooth is bothering me. So I was wrong there. It was 7. Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. 7. My bad. Okay. My damn, guys. My bad. But it basically just came down to that. Just came down to, but everyone thinks that because he took the St. Louis Blues off his social media, he was upset. Fuck, wouldn't you be upset? You know, think about this. You promote your company and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden, your company talks about letting you go. Right? You know, you dedicate, and then the company says they're going to let you go. Right? What are you going to do? All right? So I get it. So I am not. Krug is going to be here for a while. Mine is more than a tooth infection, Ryan Green. Mine is actually might be a bone infection. I have a very loose tooth, and I really need to go to the dentist and get most of my teeth pulled, but I just can't afford it. You know, I'm trying to get that 100% for the VA so I can get my dental covered. I should get it. I'm trying to get my dental attached to my GERD because that causes a lot of it. But yeah, I'll try it anyways, Ryan. I'll try it, man. I'll try anything that might help me out. Is that Mike Dante's picture on your? That sure looks like Dante's picture on your YouTube there, right? Wow, 30 minutes. I didn't think I'd get there today. But hey, we're holding in there. I will say one thing. Patrick, thank you. I will say one thing that's starting to get a little better. I don't think so. No, we do not have Aspen Dental here. Right, Chuck? We do not have it here. And for me, going to the dentist is kind of a. I went to a dentist. I'll tell this story. It's embarrassing. It's one of the last times I've gone to a dentist, unless my teeth has gotten so bad that I can't do anything. I went to a dentist. Had a problem with my teeth. He looked at me and he goes, "Well, we would clean your teeth, but we don't have an industrial sandblaster available." Now, I know he was making a joke, but I didn't take it like that. Well, I mean, it's something I would have to look into when I move back to the Lou. And I'm trying to, guys. It's just, you got to understand, it's not as simple as just packing up and moving. There's a lot of things attached to me moving. It's not as easy to move from here as you think it is, right? It's not like I can just pack everything up in a U-Haul and you know, get on the road. It doesn't work that way. You know, things are different when you live, you know, 2,500 miles from the mainland. And it just, There's a lot of stuff attached to it. A lot of stuff. Ryan says that's his picture. Well, I mean, I can't see greatly, but it surely looks like Dante there. Can't completely tell, Ryan. But I could see you doing that. That's why I would say that. The other thing that came out in the news, and a lot of people, oh my goodness, talk about just jumping on things without really taking a step back and understanding what they are. I have seen this one kind of snowball like that. Yeah, I can understand that, man. I know VA dental is bad. I know VA dental, but you know, if the appointment is that far away, according to it now, you're allowed to go on your own, right? And then have them bill it, right? Almost like urgent care. I went to urgent care with my ear infection, and the VA covered it. They laughed. They were trying to figure out what insurance do you want to use? Because I actually have 3. The Keys? Who's the key? The Jets. Be honest, I don't think I've seen it. I have to go look. Be honest, I don't think I've seen it. Man, I just kind of lost my place there. Oh, the other news that, and I mean, people have really don't understand how this stuff works, and they have jumped all over it. First of all, as soon as I read it, I kind of understood. Or as soon as I seen the article, I kind of was like, okay, that makes a little sense to me. I read the article, and what was in there I get it, but there was an article in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch that Centene Maryland Heights missed a interest payment, and that the bank sent a notice. Well, a lot of people jumped. Oh my God, they're going to close Centene. Oh my God, the Blues are going to lose their training place. Oh my God. Okay, first of all, let's go back to the last place the Blues practice facility was. They were the last person in that building. That building was more than foreclosed. Yet they were still there. The Blues are not losing their practice facility. Okay. Second of all, bonds and bond financing. Cities play games with these, right? And the law messes with them a little bit. Sometimes the law is set up so that one of them defaults. There is more than enough money in one of the 2 bond accounts to cover both bonds. However, the law is set up that you can't use them both at the same time or in the same period. So now that has to go away. No, the last practice arena was at Gurney Mills, right? I don't know. I forget what they call it. They didn't call it the barn, did they? When did they call that at Gurney Mills? Right? That's the other thing. Centene has at least 3 residents, full-time residents there. Right? Ice Zone. That right? Yeah, Ice Zone. There it is. I couldn't remember what it was called. Thank you. It was Ice Zone. But they have 3 permanent residents. They have Lindenwood University, they have the St. Louis Blues, and they have the Blues alumni. Right? No, yeah, you're way off, man. They didn't use the arena to practice. They very rarely yeah, I think that their practice facility itself was in Chesterfield or Manchester, something like that. Right? It was never, they never actually practiced at the arena regularly. They never do. Right? Game days, they might practice there, but that's it. Right? They usually have a different practice facility. The ice zone is still open? Wow. That surprises me. I don't see how anybody could go play there. Right? Now, now that winter is coming and COVID is pretty much gone, you're going to see a lot more what? Darkness? I don't get that. Wins count and losses don't? No. Right? I mean, I've taken absolutely zero. I don't know how anybody could skate in that place, man. If it's a win, it counts. I've taken very few positives out of the first 3 games. Bennington played well, but only faced 11 shots. 10 for 11. I'll take that. Right? I'll take that. A little over 90%. I'll take that. GAA would have been 3.0. That I don't take. Right? The game against the last game, they gave up way too many shots. That is exactly the problem last year. Being outshot 2-1 regularly. You give up that many shots, you're going to give up goals. They're not limiting shots. They're not controlling the puck. Trust me. I will say that for the most part, goaltending has been good. And I've said all along, of the 5 major areas, the one that I have the least concern with is goaltending. Right? My biggest concern with this team is offense. Not what everybody. It's offense, power play, penalty kill, defense, goaltending. Right? Because if you take care of the offense, you take care of the power play, the penalty kill, and the defense will take care of themselves. Absolutely they will. I didn't watch it, but I heard, and yes, it sounded like Subban just had an outstanding game. Right? Outstanding game, which is surprising for him. But again, remember who he's playing. I don't think they had a lot of NHLers on that roster. That has a lot to do with it. Right? You got to remember, I do not take a lot until the last preseason game. That preseason game against Chicago, which will be your starting lineups for the most part. I don't put much. It's like NFL preseason, right? The NFL preseason, they play 4 preseason games, right? I haven't been able to see it, so I haven't heard. I'm really can't wait to watch on Thursday to see. You know, if they're still doing that, we're going to have the same issues. Same freaking issues. Right? What do you mean it's 3? Oh, did they change it to 3 preseason games? It used to be 4. Is it now only 3? Does the NFL only play 3 preseason games now? Since they added a game at the end of that, they changed it. They went from 16 to 17 games. Right? No starter played preseason in the NFL. Well, the old way it used to be, they played 4 preseason games. Game 3 is the one where the starters played almost the whole game. Then game 4, starters played like the first couple of series, and that's it. Okay. Okay. Well, I don't follow it as well as I should. So that's, with the NHL preseason, it's kind of like that. The next to last game, that's kind of the one you want to watch, and that game's against Dallas, I think. See if I can pull this up. I had it up. So yeah, that's the game at Dallas on October 5th. That's going to be the game that you really want to pay attention to, right? That is definitely the game to me that you want to pay attention to. And that's the one I think I'll pay attention to. I think that's going to be the importance. Then on Saturday, they play Dallas up in KC. That's the Blues' home neutral site game. Then they're at Columbus. They'll go down there. I mean, I like who they're playing. They're playing Columbus, Dallas, Chicago, and they played Arizona, but they played Arizona locally, right? So they kept them like that. So that's why Arizona was on that schedule, because they played that neutral and neutral ice game in I can't think of it now. In Wichita. There we go. So 3 preseason games now. Okay, yep. I didn't know. I don't follow it that much, so I was wrong. But in the way that used to be, it was 4 preseason games. The 3rd preseason game was the game that all your starters played and played almost the whole game. And then the 4th preseason game, they played a little bit of it. And then the guys that were on the cusp got their time to play. So that's what I was kind of looking at. That's why I don't put a lot of stock into preseason at all. You're looking at style. That's what you're looking at, style. You're looking at style. You're looking at the power play a little bit. You're looking at the penalty kill, how they're doing. Penalty kill has been decent, hasn't been great. Power play, same. But there's still a lot going on. You're just not sure of, right? You're really just not sure of. So that's kind of where that. Alexandrov has been getting a really strong look. I can see him playing. I can see him making the roster right now. Right? Dean is getting a look. So is the other Zach Bolduc. They're both getting looks. I don't see them making the team. They're going down. But when it comes down to it, or what it comes down to, is excuse me. Sorry, guys. It's all about these guys coming together and playing their game. And my biggest concern is that we didn't change our offense. And our offense let us down last season and hurt our defense. So everyone thinks that our defense is the problem. Well, for me, not even close. Right? Not even close. For me, it's that offense. And until they fix that offense, nothing good's going to happen for this team. And unless there is an offensive mind change, right? Your defense in the NHL, your defense has so much connection to the offense more than any other sport. The only one that I think is close is basketball. In basketball, they're kind of close, but in the NHL, if your offense is good, you help your defense. You keep guys on the ice. You keep their offense on the ice. Their offensive guys on the ice. You keep the puck away from them. Has a lot to do with the darknesses. I agree with you. Offense needs to be better. Did the defense struggle? And this year, yes, but a decent amount of that is they got exhausted. You're right. I mean, that had a lot to do with it. I don't, everyone's focusing on the defense. And even Armstrong said it. Armstrong said, our defensive guys just didn't play bad. They just had to play too much. And that's why he thinks that. But what did you do to change the offense? You really only did one thing. And I don't think that thing was enough. Right? It's not, and that's the thing here. If you look at this team between 2022 or 21 and 2022, 21-22 and 2022-23, you take those two teams. You ended 2021-22 with 9 20-goal scorers. 8 of them came back. 8 of them came back. And I think you ended up with, 2 or 3 last season? Right? I'll tell you in a second. So you had 3 20-goal scorers. Kyrou with 37, Buchnevich with 26, Shen with 21. The season before that. 21-22. Are you ready? Here we go. You had Karashenko with 34, Buchnevich with 30, Perron with 27, Kyrou with 27, Barbashev with 26, Shen with 24, Saad with 24, O'Reilly with 21. At the start of last season, how many of those 8 players, sorry. Oh no, and Thomas with 20. Sorry, so 9. At the start of last season, how many of those 9 players were on the team? At the start of last season, how many of those 9 players were on the team? How many? I'm waiting for somebody to throw the answer out there. Na 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 na. Hey hey hey. No, at the start of last season, Darkness got it right. 8 of them. 8 of them were on the team. And you ended up with 3. You traded 3 of them away. So what changed? The personnel didn't change. What changed is your offensive coach. Montgomery, who ran the offense, went and ran the Boston Bruins offense, which turned out to be one of the best in the league ever. They set a record for most wins and most points for a team that was not supposed to make the playoffs. And Berube, your defensive coach, decided to take over the offense. Right? I don't get that, Shockey. I don't get that one, bud. You'll have to explain that to me. I don't think that was happening this year. But no, they changed their offensive style. And it didn't work. And if you played that same offensive style this year. Definition of insanity, right? That's why I'm insane. I haven't changed the Blue Note Fan Report. I'm doing the same thing, expecting things to change. You know, power play this year, I think, is the new defensive coach. Absent mind. Okay. Oh, I get it now. Oh, I didn't see it. Oh, Shocky, that's not bad. That's not bad. I didn't see it. Ott still. Okay. I don't know if Ott's the problem. I don't think he is. Well, you know what? So our buddy, oh man, oh God. I think that trying to think how to phrase this. I really am. I'm really thinking how to phrase this. And I guess it's simply this. They have been playing NHL hockey for 104 years now. They just now have a female bench coach, 104 years in. So, if you want the females to be treated like everyone else, maybe we should have started doing that 104 years ago. I think that they need to be celebrated. I think that we need to understand it and realize that they can coach just as well as a guy can. That's how I feel about it, right? Unfortunately, too many people have misogynistic views, and hell, I've been accused of having misogynistic views from my own damn daughters. So, you know, it is what it is, right? Absolutely need to understand that women know how to play the game and they know how to coach the game, right? I mean, we're seeing that in women's basketball. That's for damn sure. Where are we at? We're just about 54 minutes in. So I didn't see any. So I'm going to give you a minute or so to say whether or not you would like to hear the first part of my short story. If you would like to hear it, say yes. You know, there's 11 watching, 10 watching. So if I get 5 yeses, I will read it. If not, we'll just kind of answer questions or any of that before we go out. I don't think I can do more than an hour. I'm surprised they even got to an hour today. Guy can. I cannot coach. And how long has it been since we've seen another woman? I mean, that was in the 20s. That was in the 90s, bud. That was 30 years ago. And she's and no other woman's even been given a chance. And she got what, 2 periods, maybe a period and a half, right? I have coached. I coach, well, quote unquote coached. I coached my fantasy team. Pardon me. When I went to the Blues fantasy camp, I acted as coach for one day, and we got destroyed. So I see 2 yeses right now. I guess not then. All right. A lot of you guys watch and don't comment. I don't understand that. Right? I mean, 3 yeses. Did she play in the ECHL? I'd have to look it up. Right? But at the time, the ECHL was the main. The ECHL was the main. It was like the AHL is now, wasn't it? There was a time the ECHL was the top minor league system. Okay, Columbus Cottonmouths. All right, but I remember a time where the ECHL was like the main minor league system, right? And when you look at AAA, even in baseball and AAA, there are numerous different AAA leagues. There's a couple different AAA leagues. So, I don't know what that difference is. Is that the 128? I don't know. I don't know. Not sure what that is. You know what? Fuck it. I'll read it anyways. I'll read the first part of it. Take me about 5 minutes, I think. Just let me pull it up here. So, here we go. Might have to blow it up just a little bit more to make it easier for me to see it. And my eyesight sucks sometimes. There we go. It's a little better. Okay, here it is. Are you ready? Here you go. This is part of it. It's called 10,000 Words. And I can't find my mouse cursor. There we go. 10,000 Words, day one. Wow, just reading the title feels daunting. I'll do it this way. There we go. Here we go. 10,000 words, day one. Wow, just reading the title feels daunting. 10,000 words seems like so much. 10,000 combinations of letters and punctuation marks arranged such that they just might make a little sense. Today is Monday, the 18th of September, and I gave myself the goal of writing those 10,000 words in the next week. Why 10,000 words? To be honest, I'm not sure. It sounded like a nice round number, and according to a Google query, a short story is around that number, give or take. I have tried to write a few short stories before, although I've never gotten close to the needed number or the correct structure to make any of them comprehensive or readable material. The most I have ever been able to write is just around 3,000 for an article on a website I own. I remember struggling to get those words out of my head. I wanted to be sure I was saying what needed to be said. Why write it all? That is the right question to ask. Some people can sit down at a keyboard or look at a screen and without thinking just pound away at the keys. They can write to their heart's content, not me. When I was in the 5th grade, two significant things happened that changed my perception of myself and my ability to put my thoughts down on paper, the first of which is physical. During my 11th birthday, my father and I were wrestling in the living room. He had me on the floor and was going to put his foot on me. While lying on the floor, I reached up my hand to hold his foot off. Every one of the fingers on my right hand said, "Oh, hell no," and went in the palm of my hand, making a fist, except for the smallest and maybe the bravest and dumbest, the pinky. As my father stepped down, we all heard the crunch. I felt as if a million pins had just been stuck into my hand and arm, a feeling I would feel a few other times in my life as well. Anyone that has broken a bone in their body has probably experienced this sensation too. Yep, that's right. I had broken my right pinky finger and would spend the next 6 weeks in a cast on my right forearm. Those few happy minutes with Dave left me with the little finger that will not bend like my others do. It kind of sticks out like I'm having a cup of tea at high noon in some haughty-taughty Great Britain castle. While at face value, oh, you can't see. Stupid me. While at face value, while at face value, it's not a big deal. Anyone who can type over 30 words a minute will tell you how important it is to stage your fingers just right over the middle row of letters on the keyboard. Ever noticed that the raised lines? Ever noticed the little raised lines and bumps on the F and J key? Those allow you to index your left and right index finger over the keys so you can always find your place. Ever wonder why they were called index fingers? Now you know, I think. The second reason is both physical and psychological. My teacher, Mr. Gallagher, noticed that my handwriting and spelling were atrocious. They made taking tests and doing homework difficult for me. I would do well when given an oral exam, though he suspected I had a learning disability, Gershman syndrome. This was in about 1978, 79, and we knew very little about the long list of learning disabilities out there. In fact, we know just as much about Gershman today as we did in the 70s and early 80s. On the Wikipedia page, there are about 8 paragraphs. The prognosis are that most adults and children learn to live with it. We learn to live with it by avoiding the tasks as much as possible. If you couple this with ADHD, the person may avoid the task and become disorganized, like rush hour traffic. You know, you're going to be stuck in it, so you just sit there and let it work its way out. You know where you get where you need to go, but you can't remember why you needed to be there or what you needed to do. There's a lot of words. That is a lot of words to tell you that writing is hard for me. Well, it's kind of hard to read this, so I think I'll end it there. Thank you for watching today. Tell me what you think, and if you really did like it, and you have, if you have a Microsoft Word or something like that, maybe I can send it to you to read. But one thing I do need to do, I need to lock it. Is what it is. Make sure that people can't change it or get it out there. I haven't thought about that in the past, but I do need to do that. So guys, thank you for watching today. I greatly appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow, right around, I'd say 7:30-ish, maybe a little before that. I'm not going to do a full pregame show because, you know, there's not going to be a pregame show on, I don't think there'll be a pregame show on Valley. In fact, I know there's not, so I'm not really concerned with it so much to say. So, and I really don't want to do a pregame over the Chicago Blackhawks pregame because they're the ones that broadcast it. Guys, have a great night. Enjoyed it. Love you all. See you tomorrow. Aloha.
To all you Blues fans, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues!